Remnants of Gotham, I have a message. To the vandals who stayed behind to pick the still warm flesh from Gotham's bones, have your fun. You're under my protection. To the cowards quaking behind the police department walls, you will not be spared. And to Batman, I have already won.
Rob?
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe.net. Today we're taking a look at DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight video game action figure. This is figure number 3, and of course it is the Scarecrow. I've been waiting to get a proper Scarecrow figure. I had originally thought about trying to track down the DC Collectibles Arkham Asylum Scarecrow, and while that was one of my favorite parts of the Arkham Asylum video game, I didn't quite like his character design, and I think this one just blows that one out of the park. I picked this one up this week, depending on when you're watching it. But this is going to be the last figure from a line I'm going to pick up. You've already seen me review Red Hood, the exclusive GameStop figure, and Harley Quinn. I know Batman is out, and I saw Batman at the comic book store when I picked him up, but I really want to hold off and get the 5-pack that has the Arkham Knight Batman in it, along with the Arkham City Bruce Wayne figure, which is the one I'm really after, along with the Batman. Batman looks really cool. Unless I break down and decide, oh, I'll just take my chances on eBay, I think that's what I'm going to do. So for the time being, I'm not going to pick up the single-carded Batman figure. So let's take a look at the packaging. It's been the same from the other two figures we looked at, with the exception of the Red Hood figure, because it was the GameStop exclusive. I like the look that they're using kind of from the Capullo series in the boxes. I think each time they've done an Arkham game, they've changed the boxes just a little bit, or kind of drastically. There is the armature graphic that is probably used in the computer generating part of the game or whatever. You can see the other figures from the wave. We have Batman as figure 1, Scarecrow as figure 3, and Harley Quinn as figure 4. I skipped over Arkham Knight, like I said in the previous reviews. They held Arkham Knight back, and a lot of people are speculating, and I'm kind of thinking the same way. With all of the accessories that these figures are getting, there must be something that gives away the identity to the Arkham Knight character. So I imagine with these coming out a month before the video game, had the figure come out, something in the figure or with the figure might have spoiled who and what the Arkham Knight is. So I know I've kind of had some different speculations of who I think the Arkham Knight is, and I'd be kind of curious to see who's right, but I think that's why the Arkham Knight action figure from DC Collectibles was held, because there's probably something spoilerish in the action figure itself. It was just sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios, and they're doing a fantastic job with this line of action figures. And then you can see again the Scarecrow image there as well. So let's get this guy to package. I was real happy to pick him up at my at the comic book store that I go to from time to time. You could probably see, maybe faintly see, the price tag here is $24.99. This has been the most expensive figure from the series I've gotten, just due to where I've picked up the 3 figures that I have. So enough chit chatty. Let's get in and take a better look at this figure. We'll be right back. Wow, Gentle Giant Studios is doing a phenomenal job on this DC Collectibles line for Batman the Arkham Knight video game. Just 3 stunning figures that I've picked up, and as I review each one, I think the next figure is just better than the next. Red Hood is still my favorite of the 3 that I have so far, but each of these have just been absolutely fantastic. The detail is just superb on these. We're getting great sculpting, great painting, and really good articulation with the figures that we're getting. The Scarecrow figure does have some odd articulation, but I think that's due to how the Scarecrow is acting in the video game. You can see a leg brace here. The last time we saw Scarecrow was in Arkham Asylum, and as you remember, he was attacked by Killer Croc. So I imagine he's probably suffered quite a bit of damage, probably a broken leg or something here, with him having to have a brace on. He has a breathing type of apparatus up around his mask, which he kind of did in the Arkham Asylum video game. His leg is bowed here and his foot is twisted in, and that's on purpose. If you watch some of the video game trailers and you get to see Scarecrow walk, he walks with a very pronounced limp. I about said lip. His arm here is also in a brace of some type. You can kind of see it there. He's got a bandage around his knee here. Extra strapping and things going on. So I believe he took a beating or a very vicious attack from Killer Croc at the end of Arkham Asylum. So I would have to imagine we're going to get some of that story exposition in the Arkham Knight video game. Let's get a closer look at the face of Scarecrow. Just a creepy looking mask, and you can kind of make out the face behind the mask, so you can kind of see some other hoses and things that are going on around Scarecrow. So again, I think this is just a real it's a nice, terrifying, scary version of Scarecrow. I'm just marveling at this figure, just the attention to detail that's placed here. And haven't even played the game. We've still got about a month to go, a little over a month. There are the syringes right there, the Freddy Krueger-like syringes that extend out beyond his hands. So you can see that his fear toxin is in here, that he must be able to impale somebody with these needles and inject them in with the canisters that are here. You can see that he's really kind of prepped for battle. So, wow, just the folds in the like tunic cloak part of his. I imagine this is all supposed to be like a cloak jacket, but they've kind of turned this bottom portion into a cape-like thing here. Cloak, Rob. You can just see the stitching and the wiring, just really cool. This hood does move back a lot better than Red Hood's. So it looks like a mask, but at the same time you can kind of see his ears. So just very cool design. Again, just marveling at the figure here. Such a good figure. Let's get him to stand there. He does come with one accessory. He comes with this mask. So I'm assuming this is something he will probably wear in the game unless he puts it on somebody else. It can go on him. Kind of fits over like that. So I would almost have to think, I don't know, maybe he gives this to somebody else. It can go over the hood here, not quite. So it'll be interesting to see, what these accessories for all these figures are going to, what their application is in game. Just so many different layers into the figure, like this hose right here that's going up into the neck, under the chin of Scarecrow, that comes clear back around. It's a separate sculpted piece. Let's get the arm out of the way. It goes underneath the arm and back here into his back. So I thought it went into the canister, but it went into his back here. So this is done so well. And the strappings that come off the belt down into his legs here, which again looks like these hoses, kind of strap into the back part of his leg here. We see, which is probably a little bit of the noose from his neck in here. Just, again, I can't stop talking about this figure and how just really well sculpted he is. Let's take a look at the articulation. His head does turn, so all of this is kind of all connected together so he can move. So you can see the noose. If I can get in here. You can see the noose right in here. This black part, I can get my finger right in there. So that's what this strap is. But the head turns. It's on a ball joint. Let's back out just a little bit. We're a little close here, Scarecrow. So it can look up a little bit and can look down a little bit more than he can look up. but he can tilt to the left and the right, and even though there are some hoses and different things on here, he can still turn his head enough to get some really cool articulation out of it. The arms go up almost to a full 90 degree. Well, looks like they both can. So maybe get him in a Scarecrow pose there. So very cool. On a nice ball and socket, so the arms go all the way around. He has an upper bicep swivel. He turns, single bend at the elbow. And there is hand rotation and no hinge on this guy. He turns at the waist, and he has like a rocking motion right here. So it's not the normal turn at the waist. There's more like a diaphragm swivel in here, so that's pretty cool. The legs go forward just ever so slightly. Go back hardly at all. There is an upper thigh cut up here, if I can get him in the light. Single bend at the knee, and the harness, I like the way they have the harness here, is sculpted, so you can see the harness is able to turn. There is no boot swivel, but he does have a hinge foot, and this one has the rocker on it. So you can see how the leg is bowed here, how they kind of turn in, and that's not from being in the package. That's how every single Scarecrow is. So we can... this elbow right here was a little stiff. I'm kind of half worried about bending the elbow because the joint is wanting to turn here. Yeah, there we go. I forgot to bend a little bit. So it's putting a little bit of extra strain on these straps right here. So that hand does rotate here at the wrist, and the syringes rotate with it. So I think that's pretty cool that they do that. Just a cool looking figure. So I have my new DC Collectibles display bases. So we'll put him on there, and let's take a look. Well, first of all, I don't have the Arkham Knight Batman, but I do have the Arkham Origins Batman. So let's see what the two look like side by side. These two look really good together. Granted, the Arkham Knight Batman is going to look better next to the Scarecrow here. But as this is the one that is currently the front Batman in my Arkham display, he's going to work great. I could bring up the Arkham City Batman. He would work probably obviously just as well, but I wanted you to be able to see this. So let's take a look at the wave of figures that I have so far from the Arkham Knight video game. Wow, this is just going to be a fantastic, not only a fantastic video game, but this line of figures is going to be really good. I have to believe we're going to get a Robin and a Nightwing in here. I'm really hoping to get a Commissioner Gordon, and the one that I would really hope that DC Collectibles would do would be an Oracle figure. To have an actual Oracle action figure in her wheelchair, I think would be great. I think there's only ever been one Oracle action figure ever made, so I think we're due for an Oracle action figure. But wow, this line is off to a killer start. My favorite so far has got to be the Red Hood figure. I think he's just done superb. His design looks great. Scarecrow comes in at a very close second. His detailing is just superb. Just the rickety, Scarecrow-ish look that he has to him. Rocksteady nailed it, and Gentle Giants did such a great job sculpting. And this Harley Quinn figure has also been just a really, really good figure. I got a chance to look at the Batman figure in its box at the comic shop, and I really like that figure quite a bit. He might be third in my list of favorite figures from the series so far, but wow, just really, really cool. So if you get a chance to pick up these figures, I think they're off to a great start. And then June 23rd, I cannot wait for this game to come out. I'm not sure if we're going to get any more figures until the release of the video game. There hasn't been any other solicits that I've seen from DC Comics yet. So I think this might be it until the 23rd. And then probably like they did for the other video games, they'll just slowly come out over the course of the rest of this year and then into early next year. So today we've been taking a look at the Scarecrow From DC Collectibles, the Batman Arkham Knight video game dropping the 23rd of June. And as always, this has been Rob for Rob's Rogues and the BatmanUniverse.net, when we will see you guys next time.
Remnants of Gotham, I have a message. To the vandals who stayed behind to pick the still warm flesh from Gotham's bones, have your fun. You're under my protection. To the cowards quaking behind the police department walls, you will not be spared. And to Batman, I have already won.